Do you have any insight as to why you think Sam wanted these things? Was it truly just he wanted to be like Warren? Because I mean, he's put away for the same things.
Interesting that he would even take that risk. And I don't know that he knew that he would actually have to be held accountable. And that's one thing that the Warren Jeffs FLDS religion and a lot of these isolated FLDS religions, and just so the audience knows, there's over 500 different Mormon fractures, like different breakaways. But for the high demand authoritarian type of control, they're placed in a situation where an entire congregation's faith is put into one person. And this idea that they are untouchable and that they have zero accountability continues to be present. And so there's this idea that, oh, God will protect me because I'm the mouthpiece of God and God is above all. So I am untouchable. So there's that aspect of it. From what I'm seeing on the screen, and I'm watching my brother from what I know of him, I also think that this is somewhat post accident where he honestly, like whether he actually believed at one point or not that he really was receiving revelation from God, I don't know. But post accident, I think that he couldn't quite decipher the fact that he was not untouchable,
Yeah.
that he could do literally anything and would not be held accountable. There was no oversight whatsoever, which is why the type of FLDS communities that don't have committees and they're all through the directive of one prophet is extremely dangerous. So this is one side story I wanted to share because this gives some insight to Sam's idea that he had this prophetic capability. So post accident was interviewed just briefly on CNN years and years ago. So Anderson Cooper, this was at the time when Anderson Cooper was hosting for CNN. It was after Warren Jeffs. I don't know if he was incarcerated at this point or something had attracted the media to Colorado City. And Sam coincidentally was outside hosting a work crew. That's what it's called when they bring the young men together. It's basically a smaller group of almost like labor trafficking, but um, they had a work crew, and Sam was in charge of managing it. And they were working outside, and the CNN reporter comes up to him and he's asking him a question. So he's like talking to him, and then he puts the microphone up to Sam's face. Sam starts talking in tongues. He starts speaking in tongues.
No.
And he's like doing the most embarrassing behavior. He's like scratching the microphone and stuff like that. And now, mind you, I'm just enjoying a evening after work. I'm just sitting back, and all of a sudden here comes my brother on the screen, and I'm like, oh my God, like what is happening? I'm like calling up my family, and I'm like, okay, either do not watch this or go watch this. Okay, the reason that I find that relevant though is after his accident, there were a couple of times when it was like this awkward moment of like, oh wait, I'm receiving a download. I'm
Okay.
like, no, I think that you're having like a spaz attack.
Psychotic episode.
Yeah, you're having an episode. I don't think this is a divine revelation. I don't know if he intentionally was trying to um, kind of throw off the reporter or whether he was kind of leveraging that as an opportunity for attention. Because after his accident, he became almost starved for it. Anybody that gave him an opportunity to bear his testimony, it was embarrassing and ridiculous. And specifically for my family, our family was, we've all been rather secluded. We haven't really been, don't we, never really engaged in the community a lot. I was probably considered the most social out of everybody. So that was considered very peculiar, specifically for my family. We were kind of had a reputation of being a little bit more isolated than most people and not wanting to be put in the limelight. So for him to constantly want that and have a an opportunity to bear his testimony. And there were times when he would bear his testimony that was just like absolute bullshit. And I'm like, bro, like, am I the only one here just like going, no, no, he doesn't really believe that.
This is
So,
so interesting. So all of those things combined, it seems like he really doesn't have that sinister intention of harming people, intention of, I don't know, tricking these young women. He just truly doesn't, he truly is in a delusion, doesn't know the reality from fiction, and is believing all of these things that he's hearing are divinely inspired, in addition to already being predisposed to being very mean, playing tricks. I mean, I did a full episode with Gnomes, and she talked about how she was threatened into marrying him, where he was threatening the lives of her family. So there is that other side of the coin where it's like, okay, did he know he was being malicious, or was he truly just in his own delusion?
and that's the exact question that a lot of people had with Warren Jeffs also. They were saying, okay, wait a second. Do these men honestly, truly believe that they are creating a community that's leading them to God? Do they believe this is Christ-like and that they're receiving direction from God to do these things? So, yes and no. With Sam, I believe that I honestly don't think that because of his accident that gave him any more of a delusional perspective per se. I think there were opportunities where he couldn't rationalize between logic as much. I do believe that there's a component to it, but I think that I wonder if he really was malicious, as you said, or he had like the sinister attribute that really contributed to it. And that's possible. And then again, you have these types of environments that breed it and reinforce it and feed it, and it's just like this perfect storm of perversion. And then you'll have a lot of men who say, well, I grew up that way and I didn't end up like that. I don't know. That's a question for psychology, because it's the age old question of how do you put two people in a traumatic situation and one person ends up an alcoholic and another person ends up a different way. It's the entire like structure of that individual. There's so many variables that come into play.